Everything changed when COVID happened.
I was on my way to work and I received an email from my boss. I've been retrenched, that's it.
Wouldn't use the word burden, but I just didn't want to get my parents worried.
Because of COVID, when I'm about to pass away, what do I want to look back on?
Most of the team are all family breadwinners, so it's important that they keep the job. We did toy around with the idea that it's totally different from what we have been doing.
So much effort, and then we are not earning much or profiting out of it. How do we move things forward from this and become better? Morning, Uncle. 你准备好了没有 ？My name is Lester. 50只哦，我转你100。来，Uncle，打好了。Thank you. Thank you. Okay, bye, Auntie. Bye. I hate going to the market. I'll try to avoid it since young. I don't really like the smell, the hustle, the slippery floors of the market. But things have changed now. I probably visited the market more than I ever visited in the past 30+ years.
Freelancers here are feeling the heat as the COVID-19 situation worsens.
Before the pandemic, Mom conduct a lot of cooking classes. Students will come to our house and learn dishes, and they will pay a fee for it. Dad is a property agent. My wife, Charmaine, and I shoot wedding videos and corporate videos for our clients. The freelancer's life isn't easy. For 2 years, we kind of have sufficient jobs coming in month to month. But this time, during the circuit breaker, Mom can't host her regular classes that she had been doing for years.
When government announced a circuit breaker, only essential worker can go out to work. We have to stay home. It's bad for everybody.
When we didn't have any income coming in, we started to worry about how long can our savings last us.
That is really stressful, actually. Of course, there's the utility bills and stuff. We have to service our mortgage for this house, so our CPF got wiped out now.
Layoffs in the second quarter of this year more than doubled from pre-COVID-19 levels to over 8,000, even as total employment continued to fall by around 104,000 in the same period.
We first heard about the news of the plant shutting down and letting go of staffs around April. I was not that overly worried because I was in that company for 7.5 years. But of course, reality comes and hits me. My name is Muhammad Nasir Jafar. I'm 47 years old. I was a senior quality engineer from an oil and gas MNC. I still can remember very vividly when my manager said that, "Jay, I'm sorry, we have to let you go." I was lost for that 5-10 minutes. When you hear it itself from your boss, right? Yeah, that is when it hits you really hard. For 4 months, I submitted more than 60 applications. I tried semiconductor, pharmaceutical, electronics industry as well, chemicals, but still nothing. Never in my life that I feel unwanted. Why is it happening? Why is it me?
没有，这个太大，给10个，
我懂。对，
因为有黑的，谢谢啦，谢谢。
等一下啊。
教学生比较容易，因为学生会听话，孩子不听话，会跟我 argue。
I'm doing the easiest part, like cutting potatoes. My mom is in charge of the curry chicken portion, and Charmaine is doing the bread portion. Growing up, every friends gathering, birthdays, family gathering, my mom will always prepare a pot of delicious curry for everyone to share. It's everyone's favorite. During the circuit breaker, a lot of our peers do Facebook Live cooking shows, and mom kind of felt pressurized to step up to do it online as well.
今天等一下我们会做 ayam penyet 啊，哇，很好吃啊，就是。
We wonder what could interest Singaporeans, her customer base.
She thought of curry buns.
像咖喱包，反正就是自己做的，你要什么版本都可以啊。有时候你想象。
It was purely just to demonstrate how to cook it, but by chance, we gave some of the buns to our neighbors and friends, and sales started coming in. It started out with just 2 of us, mom and I, running all over looking for ingredients, making the buns, delivering the buns ourselves. And then as more orders came in, we couldn't handle it alone. So Lester and Dad stepped in to help. At that point of time, we didn't think of it as a business. We were just
Happy that someone wants to buy.
yeah.
In the beginning of the year, COVID happened and everything changed. There was this fear like, oh, okay, I'm unable to find a job. Wouldn't use the word burden, but I just didn't want to get my parents worried. My name is Jeevan. I'm a third-year student in SMU. 23rd April was when my exam ended. I thought my whole summer is ahead of me. What am I going to do? I wanted to get an internship in a company in Singapore. Unfortunately, when COVID happened, I couldn't get an internship. Yeah, so that's when I started to look for other things to spend my time. So today I'm actually going to be filming a TikTok. It's something that I started during circuit breaker. So I usually connect it to my laptop over here. And then this other setup was where I will put my phone. And that's where the whole creation begins. Many like me were feeling bored. They wanted an outlet to just laugh a bit. When I see so many Singaporean families dancing together with their kid, I think it's really cute. That's when I learned a dance, a very famous TikTok dance. When I posted it, there was barely even 1 or 2 likes. I knew it wouldn't get viral because a lot of people do that. I started to experiment with new ideas, and that's when I found that video that worked.
You again.
People like relatable content, people like funny content. So when I started to do more so of that, that's when I think people had positive response. The video got viral, and I think it's garnered about 200,000 views in one night. I was quite shocked at that. I think a lot of girls found it funny and relatable because they too had unshaped eyebrows because of circuit breaker.
Your first time do facial, is it? Okay, yeah, I see you got a bit of black hair and white hair.
So this one also kind of went viral in the Tamil community because it's true, right?
How many people like this?
About like 4,000 lah, 4,000.
From India?
Not from India, these are local Singaporeans. Because I was making people laugh, I was making people smile, made me want to create more. To date, I have about 58,000 followers. Really never expected any of this. Miss Chua, can I get back my phone? Don't ever let me catch you using the phone again. Is that clear? It was well received, especially my school content, because people can relate to it. Like, oh my God, yeah, I remember that. Don't ever let me catch you using your phone in the class again. Is that clear? Yes, I promise I won't use it again. And that's a wrap. So now comes the editing and all that. So this takes a bit of time. Social media can be toxic at times, and I think I've experienced a fair share of that as well.
I told him right from the start, there will definitely be haters. Because he's seeing it on the lighter side. Maybe some may not. You must be strong to accept it.
Some of the mean or nasty comments that I've received is like, you know, he's not funny. It can sting a little. COVID, you know, took the smiles off people's face, like literally. I just wanted to make people smile. I just want to make people happy.
My name is Kelvin. I'm the general manager here since 2002. It's already close to 18 years that I've been working here. We are right now in the printing room where we have our large format printers here. We were making mainly large prints for clients. 是不是新的刀？旧的，不是那个新的尊的刀啊。 好用啊 ，OK 啊 ，OK， 那以后我们就拿这个刀。2019 has been a very, very good year. Actually, we expected 2020 to be even better. But things take a sudden change when circuit breaker was announced.
The closure of workplaces will take effect from next Tuesday.
We had to shut down the whole operation for the next 2-3 months. And we totally had zero revenue from that point onwards. In business theory, with that kind of results, we should be cutting off manpower. It's difficult for us to actually say, hey, you know, the business is no good and we want to lay you off. The team has worked for me for some of them, even before I joined the company. Some of them joined us for 10 years, 5 years, and so on. Most of them are all family breadwinners, so it's important that they keep the job. While preparing for the shutdown, we also had difficulty to purchase masks. And we did toy around with the idea that we may be bringing in the mask production capability into our place to support Singapore's needs for masks. It's totally different from what we have been doing. This is our first machine that we imported in. We actually went to China to procure the machines and all the supplies. We did all the installation and training through video conferencing and messaging. We could do about 100,000 masks a day if we run 24 hours. This will become a challenge because our team actually needs a different set of skills.
Previously, my role was a fine art printmaker. It switched overnight, and now I'm doing face masks, doing the quality control and also to check packing. So totally no experience, brand new, uncharted waters.
Hi, Chong. How is the adjustment to the machine after we decided that the ear loops and all the things are not attached properly? Are you looking into it? When we brought in these machines, they cost us a couple $100,000. We throw in almost close to $1 million of cash. Along the way, we failed at a certain part, the ear loop attachment. The distance between the tip and the joint, where it actually welds them together, is quite challenging because just a little difference of the movement will actually affect the whole attachment. We need to resolve this. It's of urgency. Those who place the pre-orders are all calling us up to make sure that they get their deliveries done. Everyone knows that they have to deliver. It's just like a war time where everybody puts themselves into the front line to help fight the war.
During COVID, I had the time to slow down and think about the end of the road when I'm about to pass away. What do I want to look back on? I think what's meaningful in life is being able to give back to the society that has given you a lot. Of course, I'm just one person, I cannot do it alone.
你拿你的插出来，
我们帮你丢。要记得吃饭啊。
对，谢谢。
拜拜。
拜拜，再见，再见。
I'm May, I'm 28 years old this year. Before COVID, I was living and working in New York. Around March, the cases suddenly exploded to the thousands. The city went into lockdown. My parents were very anxious and very worried. And that's when I decided to return to Singapore. I actually got quite a bad sore throat, but I didn't have any fever, so I still took the flight home. Because I was living with my parents, I'm very worried that I'll pass it to them. Then I actually took myself to the GP clinic to get a referral to go to A&E for the COVID test. And it was positive.
She told me about how the other elderlies that were in other wards were suffering, and she was really worried for them.
Yeah.
Singapore is an aging population. We see more elderly who are living alone, who are isolated within the community. They could be estranged from their children. Their spouses has passed on as well, or their siblings are also generally very elderly as well. I think as humans, we crave for social support and a sense of belonging.
OK, thank you, thank you, thank you. 每次都送东西给我吃。
你最近怎样？
很好。
很好啊。I am the co-founder of Kampong Kakis, which I recently started after recovering from COVID-19 with 2 other friends. The idea of Kampong Kakis and getting more volunteers in the community to help their own neighbors, that's what keeps me going, trying to reach more and more people.
Kampong Kakis is a platform that matches volunteers to a neighbor in need.
你的儿子有回来看你吗？
有，今天他们1个星期回来一次。
啊，跟你的孙子一起？
没有，今天他们可能没有回来，只有我儿子回来。
你的儿子而已啦。Kakis means buddy. We try to match kakis within a 20 minutes walking distance. We want to make sure that they are neighbors who can check in on each other regularly. Bye. Bye.
We are a non-profit organization. We recruit our volunteers through social media, giving out flyers in the neighborhood.
Right now, we have close to about 1,000 volunteers. Of course, it hasn't been growing as quickly as when we first started anymore, since most people are starting to go back to work.
Some of our neighbor kakis, they have to support more than one neighbor. And certain areas, we don't really have enough neighbor volunteers as well. If this initiative is stopped, more elderlies will really fall through the gaps.
Because of the pandemic, for the very first time, I'm jobless.
You were looking for a job via online job portals, right?
No response from the applications that I submitted. It was really zero. I was more than eager to actually start work because it was already about 4 months that I've been staying at home, right? My original resume was about 6 pages long.
Yes, I remember it was quite a long resume. The first thing is to work on improving his resume to better highlight his technical skills and knowledge. So after Jay has worked on his resume, my colleague actually shared his profile with 3D Metal Forge. And he was invited for interview. And within 3 days, right? He received the job offer.
"3D printing is exactly the opposite of what I did previously, which is a conventional machining process. So it's more to my own personal worry on whether I will be able to keep up with the expectations from my colleagues and also from the company. I am in charge of the inspection of the products to ensure that it complies to the engineering drawing, which specifies all the requirements of the products. This tolerance is basically referring to a surface finish tolerance,
Yes, there's a surface finish.
Yeah, I think that was the mistake that I did, which resulted in some delay in the work.
Engineering drawings can be very complicated, so Jay might not have seen or exposed to all these new symbols.
If, let's say, we ship this out to the customer, eventually they might not be able to use these parts because it might not fit into whatever they need to actually assemble this component to.
I do feel very bad actually because it is an unacceptable mistake for a quality engineer to commit.
I'm still under probation for 3D Metal Forge.
I do not know whether I have done enough up to the expectations of the company for me to be confirmed.
This is Jiesheng and this is Constance. We are SMU students. I actually wanted to get an internship in a company related to marketing. Unfortunately, when COVID happened, I couldn't get an internship. That's when I stumbled on TikTok.
Types of students in morning assembly. This one, 4 years in school, help me tie my tie.
Actually, I've seen some people posting his stories on their story, and those are people that don't know him, and that's how I knew how big Jivan's reach has become.
Jia-yi, can borrow mechanical pencil? You every time keep ask me
It's just that the wig maybe surprised me because I didn't expect him to have that wig. Right.
Ever since I started TikTok and gaining more traction, that's when brands would reach out to me. I still am using social media for the purpose of connecting, talking to my friends, seeing what's happening in their life. The small change would be that now I'm using social media and this influence to share about a brand to my friends. Could it be maybe that I have a sizable following? Then they see that maybe I cater a bit more to the younger demographic, so they reached out. The clients are okay with the setting of the scene, but they want me to drop the female character because they don't encourage cross-dressing. Yeah.
Your first time do facial, is it?
I do tend to take on the persona of a girl and I'll wear a wig.
You gotta take it now.
Working at brands has been bittersweet. Can be challenging. Yeah. Sometimes when a brand tells you, okay, do this, and then you're like, oh, how can I make it funny? You know, how can I make it funny? It's definitely not easy. TikTok Live is a new feature. It was launched in the Singapore market 2 months ago. Okay, I think it's good. I actually can be quite nervous before I go live. So people who are currently on the app scrolling on TikTok, they can actually watch your live broadcast. So there are 13,000 people active right now. So I'm gonna go live. Let's do it. In 3, in 2, and 1. Yay! Hi guys. Hello, hello. Hi everyone watching Steven. TikTok Live helps me to interact with those people who follow my content. Now more people are more than ever looking at their phones. So I think that's where you capture their attention. So someone sent 1 diamond. So these can be translated into cash. There's also this cool feature where people who have actually been following you for some time, right, they can actually reward you with certain coins. I would say 1 coin maybe is 2 cents. Sometimes they may give you 5 coins. So that's like 10 cents. PSLE results. I was glad that there were still job opportunities in the midst of COVID. I've been receiving some offers from brands to collab and to promote their merchandise or their brand. So most of them would really be less than $500. So I would say on average I do like 4 a month. I still have 2 more years before I graduate. That money will go into helping me pay off my school fees.
It's hard to motivate yourself to wake up early in the morning when the sky is still dark. But to deliver the orders, we have to wake up like at 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m. sometimes. Our brand name is Eat My Curry Bun. In short, it's Eat My CB, which is a reference to circuit breaker. There's, of course, people who really dislike the name, but as a home-based business starting in circuit breaker, we have to take certain creative risks.
We sell our curry buns on Instagram. Our customers direct message us and we'll follow up with their orders through there. We started this business with no business plan.
We're just selling 1 curry bun at a time to survive this pandemic.
None of us studied business, none of us studied culinary.
Customers all around Singapore wanted to try our curry bun, so we deliver island-wide with 0 delivery costs. And then at the end of the day, we realized that we are making such a loss. I remember feeling very disappointed after all this hustle, all these efforts ultimately could not support us. So I thought, how do we move things forward from this and become better?
Saturday, just add on from Serangoon.
Saturday.
After Serangoon, 这个 is almost like Novena area. 它是 first stop 才去 Jurong
I help with planning the delivery route. So my dad will just follow accordingly to house number 1, number 2, number 3, etc.
I am designing the packaging. I put on a little doodle, something personalized for our customers. Mom did a lot of groundwork for refining the recipes. My brother is very good with numbers and help us to calculate all the ingredients cost, packaging cost. That helps us with all the delivery.
We have to also take up some side hustles. So I'm editing a wedding video right now.
We had to juggle between both the caravan business and the video business, which is a challenge because Charmaine is very much involved in the kitchen process.
If we stop doing the curry buns, then what will happen to our parents? Mom and Dad have been freelancers all their lives and they are not of age to withdraw from their CPF anyway, so they really needed to rely on their job to provide for themselves. So with the curry bun business, they are able to get an income at least.
Auntie, this is your cat? Oh, rescued ah. So you feed them every day?
Every day.
Wow. I was actually inspired by my own parents. My parents would prepare food to help my stay-alone senior neighbor. So that kind of, sharing and giving spirit is something that really inspired me to start Kampong Kakis. So this is the map of all our Kaki volunteers as well as our Kakis in need. The purple and the blue are our volunteers and the brown is our beneficiaries, our Kakis in need. One of the things we realized is that actually a lot of the elderly were not very tech savvy and therefore they felt more isolated. So my team decided to start a new initiative called Digital Kakis, where we use our network of Kaki volunteers to become sort of the tech support.
Today, 我们学习 Zoom 里面你要看有几个人，你就按这个人头。
Hello Jenny。
Hello。跟朋友跟我自己人很好了，学到这个 Zoom。
要慢慢来学啊，太多东西记得了。
对对。
可以写下来，比较容易记得。
对对，我有写。
好，拜拜。拜拜。拜拜。If COVID didn't happen, I probably would still be quite busy with my daily life and work and maybe didn't put so much thought into how we can do more to help the community. I had the chance to really slow down and reflect upon my life and how I was living it. If I was to continue in New York, I wouldn't be able to do all that. After I came back to Singapore, I still had my job in the US, so I would work late hours from 8 p.m. to about 7 a.m. the next day. It was quite difficult because I would start working on Kampong Kakis in the afternoon before I, commence my work in the evening. I actually did go back to the US from July. It was very hard trying to manage Kampong Kakis from the US because of time zone differences. I wanted to come back and see it, continue to grow.
We have 25 to 30 employees. Most of them are all family breadwinners. During the pandemic, our printing business were all shut. we should be cutting off manpower. But we chose this face mask manufacturing to actually help to save the jobs. Even up to today, we still have a full team with us. Okay, 好了，注意一下那耳朵那些，好。We had some issues on the earlobes. Customers are complaining, so we took the feedbacks. We put in more stringent checks. It took us some time before we overcome and get a better product out there to the market. The pandemic actually forces us to think out of the box, to really move ourselves from our comfort zone, to actually protect everyone's livelihood, to evolve the business, to change it, to bring ourselves online, and to expand to different portfolio, to make sure that we are still relevant during the difficult times. We thought that it was a good mix to actually expand the whole product line with hand sanitizer. June is where we started back our printing production after the 3 months of stop.
Right now, I'm back to doing my previous role as a fine art printmaker. I oversee the printing, from the color editing to the quality control. So back to normal, I would say. Happy to be doing something that I'm familiar with. Okay, so this is safe.
Now everyone is trying to do promotions. So the activities are rolling back in quickly, but the production of the face mask still continues. We believe that holding this capability for future safety net is actually important. So we decided to keep the mask manufacturing business alive as long as we can. 好，machine 没有问题啊，全部分头。Okay. This pandemic has actually brought us stronger together. We have learned to think in all the different perspectives. Don't just keep looking at what you are doing right now, and you should be able to find the other pot of gold.
What else do you have to do?
Preparation for tomorrow.
Okay.
We tried juggling our videography business and the Kariban business. But that also means that we don't have any rest day at all. It's difficult and it's really draining sometimes, but I think it's worth it. Honestly, if we were to stop this Kariban tomorrow, we would just go out and work harder in our respective jobs. But what's keeping us together now is the chance to work together as a family and to earn together as a family.
Sometimes we also wonder whether the very generous support we get from our customers and friends, is this thing gonna last? And is there future in the Kariban business? We don't really know as well. Do you want to continue doing it?
If we can, if people still want to eat our Karibans, then we will make it.
Hey Jay.
Hi Matt.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Have a seat.
My probation period is 3 months. If they think that, yes, you have met the expectations, right? That is when you are considered as a confirmed staff. I hope I can get my confirmation.
How are you finding settling in? How are you finding coming up to speed with what we do?
Settling in the first week was actually very scary for me, but of course with the guidance from my colleagues from the ops team, right? It really made my transition much easier.
You got probably the ultimate compliment from someone in sales the other week. They said, "Oh, Jay's got a very customer quality mindset," and they were very happy with that.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's good to hear that.
Yeah.
Dear Jay, we are pleased to inform you that with effect of 12 November, you are confirmed in your position as a Senior Quality Engineer in 3D Metal Forge Private Limited. So this is my confirmation letter. From the time I lost my job until I got the job over here, it's just very humbling to me, you know. It taught me a lot of life lessons that there is no such thing as iron rice bowl. You basically need to work hard as the first day you start your work and until now, right? And all those people that cares about you, you know, so you just need to make sure that you treasure them.
All right. Okay. Thank you. My mom passed on Saturday, October 17, 2020.
She is always the first person that I actually goes to break the happy news.
She's bedridden for over 8 years.
I'm sure from a much better place. She is smiling right now.
Whenever I film a very awkward scene and I was thinking the video does not look good, but I add the music. Then suddenly, oh, it's okay. Then I was like, wait a minute, that's so cool. Yeah.
Do you all edit on the TikTok app or you?
Normally I edit on TikTok. I like to use the adjust clips, right?
Yeah.
And you can refilm with the adjust clips.
Yeah.
As well.
These are the seniors over here. I'm really the newest in this whole TikTok and social media scene.
You're the best.
No.
You're the funniest.
Hey, I'm a noob. I'm just a newbie.
Yeah, I never expected this when I entered 2020. Quarantine, lockdown. But in this whole period of the pandemic, right, that presents a lot of opportunities.
Here we go!
The silver lining for me was me starting TikTok. Yeah, and I'm thankful for it. And that's what I still hope to do, even in the coming years, to continue creating content.
Cheers to that. Cheers to friendship.
Let's pack the older one first, because we already know. I think it's a good choice to come home. After going through this pandemic, I do want to do more for Singapore and for the communities. Singapore is always home. In the past, it felt very difficult to make a change. But when you hang around people who are all change makers, I think you are more hopeful that, yeah, we can make a difference in Singapore together.
This pandemic has taught me to be okay with change. We just have to adapt and work even harder when we are out of our comfort zone, because life is always going to be unpredictable.
疫情过后，我第一个就是要出国旅行。I'm daydreaming about traveling. Shamin and I can drive a van and then we can make curry buns around the world.